Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. It is Censorship Sunday live stream, which I think is going to become a normal thing because, listen, it's kind of like if there weren't so many flipping incidents of censorship, a Censorship Sunday live stream would not actually even need to be a thing. And yet, every Sunday now, I am bombarded with way more incidents of censorship and other absurd, crazy nonsense than I actually even need for one live stream. I've got so many topics on the docket for today, we might not even get through them all, but that's all right because we're still going to gather here. We're going to make fun of this. We're going to look at it in an absurd way. And if you're like me, you have a giant mimosa or a Bloody Mary or, any drink of choice, really. I know mimosas and Bloody Marys aren't everyone's thing. Coffee, tea, water, whatever floats your boat, man. Cheers. Happy Sunday. Welcome to the Censorship Sunday live stream. Let's drink. If you have a beverage of choice, share what you're drinking with us in the chat and we can get to know each other a little bit better. Cheers, folks. All right. Okay, so guys, the stream today, I do just want to do a quick plug. Now, on Twitter, of course, we were dealing with massive censorship on Twitter. If you want to get away from that hellscape, one of the very best things you can do is to join my Locals community. Locals is a private social networking site where it's so nice. It's like social media for adults. There are no trolls. It's fantastic. Now, the way that this is possible is that there are actually two types of account options on Locals. The first is a free account. I keep having to dispel the myth that you have to pay money to join Locals. You do not have to pay money. You do not have to pay a dime if you don't want to. But the thing of it is, if you sign up for a free account, what you're going to get is you're going to be able to see what is going on in the community. You're also going to get ad-free access to all of my videos. So those are two pretty cool benefits, I think. You're just not going to have access to all the features. So you aren't going to be able to participate in discussions. You aren't going to be able to participate in our community Zoom calls. And that's because the $5 a month is what keeps the trolls out. Because let's be honest, these socialists do not have jobs and therefore do not have $5 a month to spend on something like Locals. And so it keeps them out of the community. Now, I know. People don't want to pay for something. They don't know what it is. Well, here's the thing, guys. If you use the promo code free speech, all one word, free speech, apply that, you will get 1 free month of subscription. So you can test it out. See if you like it. I think Locals is pretty cool. I've got a growing community. I am about to cross 10,000 members in the community, and most of them are not paying members, guys. Most of them have that free account, and that's all they need, and that's all they really want. But at least they're in the community. And then when I inevitably get banned off of Twitter and Facebook, and let's be honest, probably YouTube, we will have a place where we can go and congregate. So if you want to sign up for my Locals, all the information is right below me in the description, kb.locals.com. If you want to sign up for a paid account, you want to go to kb.locals.com/support. And again, use that promo code free speech and you will get a free month of subscription. All right. But that's not what you guys came for. You guys came for Censorship Sundays. Let me just change my screen here. All right. And today, we already got one. Texas Horse Rescue says, join my Locals this weekend. Thank you, Texas Horse Rescue. I'm thrilled that you're there. All right, everyone. So today, we are going to start where my journey began, and that is Ravelry. Ravelry is pretty much the most popular knitting site on the internet. If you want to find a knitting pattern for anything, you go to Ravelry because that is where all the patterns are. Now, Ravelry became famous a couple years ago now when they banned support for Donald Trump on their website. Banned support. You weren't allowed to say Trump. You weren't allowed to have Trump knitting patterns. You weren't allowed to have anything. So they banned it entirely. So hang on, but backtrack here. M. Nelson says, I assume Locals has an app. Locals does have an app. It is so much better with the app. I can't even tell you, but they do have one. It is in the App Store. But Ravelry is this knitting site that became famous for banning all Trump supporters. And listen, like, this was never really a big thing for me because I don't really use Ravelry all that much. I use it for the patterns. I don't really use it for anything else. And so this was not something that even before I was like a Trump supporter, or even after I became a Trump supporter, it really didn't affect my life at all or my use of the tool. I was like, I like the patterns. I like having a library of things. I didn't really use it beyond that. I didn't really post in the discussion forums. Well, some of you know, about probably a couple months back, I decided to create this little subversive discussion group on Ravelry called Crafting Rebels. Now, we broke none of their rules. I actually explicitly told people, do not talk about Trump. This is about just people getting together to talk about knitting. This is not about politics. This is not about Trump. We weren't even talking about politics on it. I have never to this day talked about Trump or politics on Ravelry at all in any way, shape, or form. And they have no proof that I have because it literally doesn't exist. So something funny happened to me the other day on Ravelry. I noticed this yesterday. I logged into the account because I was looking for this knitting pattern that I was working on, and I wanted to have the PDF in front of me. I was doing a podcast, and I was going to knit while I was on the podcast, and I wanted to have the pattern on the screen in front of me. And what I noticed that my profile photo wasn't showing up. And I was like, what the hell's going on there? So I clicked into it and I found out that Ravelry has restricted my profile. They said only a portion of your profile is visible because it contained content or avatars in violation of our community guidelines or terms of use. Now, let's go back to that little discussion group I started. Ravelry actually ended up deleting my discussion group entirely with no notice. I don't think that, like, anytime I saw someone breaking a rule where they were talking about Trump or whatever, I moderated it. I took it out, but I wasn't on there 24 hours a day. So I obviously couldn't, take stuff down immediately. They just up and deleted my entire discussion group one day without notice. And I kind of was like, oh, that kind of sucks, but whatever. It wasn't really that big of a deal. There were like 400 people in it or something. It wasn't the end of the world. And then like a couple weeks later, I see that they've restricted my profile. So what is in my profile that Ravelry finds offensive? Well, let's take a look at what exactly is in my profile real quick, because what I have up here, all that's above this on the screen, I'm not going to scroll up because it actually does have my email address that I'm using there. But this is my literal Ravelry profile. I have no website. I have how I measure yarn. I have a few tick boxes. Literally no other content. Literally no other content in my profile, because I don't really use it. I do not really use this website for discussion or anything like that. I literally only use it for patterns. So the only thing in my profile that could potentially violate their terms of service would be my profile picture. Now you can see a little version of my profile picture right there. You can see me in this one. I was wearing a hat that's like Kelty built because that's my mother's side of the family is the Kelties. But I also had this profile. Now, who is this picture with? Who is this obvious white supremacist? That is this must be the reason that Ravelry is restricting my profile. They literally said only a portion of your profile is visible because it contained content or avatars in violation of our community guidelines or terms of use. Well, we know there's literally no content in my profile apart from this profile picture with this obvious white supremacist. Now, those of you who are not in the knitting community probably don't know who this is. This is Stephen West. Stephen West is literally one of the most popular knitting designers in the world. He is not a right-wing person at all. Not in any way, shape, or form. Now, Stephen has not actually been as overt about cancel culture in the knitting community as a lot of people have. His business partner's been overt about it and probably wants him to do a whole lot more with it, but he really hasn't. Like he's like he's a gay dude. Like he really hasn't been that overt about it. He just wants to sit back and knit. So why is Ravelry censoring my profile? There's nothing in it, and the only thing that I had as a profile picture is a picture with Stephen West. So apparently what we can surmise from all of this is that Ravelry is now not just banning people for violating their terms of service. They are literally banning anyone that they just don't like. It does not matter if you violate their terms of service or not. If they don't like you, if you've expressed an opinion on another platform, if you would vote for the person that they don't want you to, they are going to restrict your use of their website, even if you don't violate their terms of service. Now, a lot of people are saying, Carlin, you should know that they were going to do this. They're going to ban you and not your profile. Well, no shit, Sherlock. I'm not an idiot. But we have to prove these things, guys. We have to prove these things are happening. There is literally no reason for my profile to be banned. There is no reason for my profile to be restricted. I don't even post on their damn website. They have no record of me violating their terms of service at all in any way, shape, or form. Ravelry are just intolerant to anyone who doesn't think like them. So what I want an explanation. I have tweeted at Ravelry. I have Instagrammed at Ravelry. I have submitted a support ticket to Ravelry. I want an explanation about what specific evidence you have that I broke your terms of service. What specific evidence do you have that my profile contained content or avatars in violation of our community guidelines or terms of use? What specific evidence do you have, Ravelry? What do you have? If everyone could just tweet at Ravelry right now and demand to know why my profile has been restricted when I've literally broken 0 of their terms of service, that would be awesome. But Ravelry is not the only website doing this. I've got a couple other examples. And our next one is literally, I found this out, guys, about 2 minutes before I came live. But first, I'm going to take another drink. Cheers. Cheers, cheers. All right, so you guys know, I've been playing this little game with change.org. It started as a joke that had nothing to do with change.org at all in any way, and now it has become a real thing. So this started when I started a petition on change.org to demand AOC resign from Congress after I demanded that Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley resign from Congress. I demand. So I thought, well, if we can just demand that people resign from Congress, then why can't I just start a petition demanding AOC resign from Congress? What's so different about that? So I started that petition. It got 10,000 signatures in less than 48 hours, and then change.org banned it. They banned my petition. And so then I started 2 new petitions on change.org. The first petition I started was petitioning change.org to reinstate my original petition. And if they did not reinstate my original petition, I declared that they were going to be fascist, and they proved it. Well, they banned that one too. And then they banned my third petition, which was that we would, as a collective, rename Karen to AOC. That was a fun petition. I didn't really care too much about that one. But then something interesting happened. So I was going to log in to change.org to just show you guys I had no petitions left. Something funny happened. I went to change.org. I went to log in. I had my credentials right there. Tried to log in. There's an error. Please try again. Those are my credentials for change.org. I didn't change those credentials at all. So maybe I forgot my password. Maybe I changed my password and I just forgot it. Well, let's try this. Let's try forgot. Oh, I just showed you guys my goddamn email address. Whatever. It doesn't really matter. Oh my God. We're not able to reset your password. Look at that. Change.org literally banned my account. Deleted my account without notice for starting a petition on their website demanding that they reinstate a petition on their website. I told you guys this was going to happen. I told you guys as soon as I started those other 2 petitions, I said it on that live stream where I started it. I was like, I'm absolutely going to get banned for this. So change.org has literally banned me off their website for starting a petition directed at them on their website. Does anyone else find this just a little ironic and hilarious? I mean, I can create another account. Change.org, I've got 8,000 email addresses, dude. I can create another account in about 30 seconds. It's not even that big of a deal. I don't know if I really want to go down that route at this point, but I could. I could change.org if I wanted to, and we'll see if I do. But that's not even the last example of censorship I have, guys. That's not even the last one. Let's talk about Facebook, shall we? let's talk about Facebook. So I started this Facebook page, I mean, a long time ago, right after like my article went viral and you guys started to know who I was. And I started it using the doctor title because like at the time I was really only using social media for like work related stuff. And I use my doctor title whenever I'm doing work related stuff, right? And so I was trying to keep things consistent across all social media, and I just used the doctor title. And eventually I kind of stopped using it because I don't really care like all that much. But like I don't really see the point in using it when I'm not talking about work related stuff unless I'm trying to be uppity. And so I started going across to different social media to remove the doctor title because like I don't need to use it if like I'm not talking about work. And I just hadn't gotten to my Facebook page yet because I really don't use it all that much. But last week I went in, I tried to change my doctor title to just have it read Karlin Borisenko. I want to show you guys what happened. So we're going to go to edit page info. I want to edit my page name. All I want to do is remove the doctor title. And it says, your page should accurately reflect what the page is about. We review name changes to protect the identities of businesses, brands, organizations that Facebook pages represent. Well, is there any doubt that I have this properly named? It's literally my name. All I want to do is remove the doctor title. So I'll delete that. And then it says, okay, you need to request this name change. We need to confirm that this is a real thing. Well, fine. Current page name, Dr. Karlin Borisenko. New page name, Karlin Borisenko. This is not a hard change to make, right? Request the change. What do I get? What do I get when I request it? Creating content with this name is not allowed. Facebook is literally telling me that I can't create content under my own name. Creating content with this name is not allowed. What the hell is that about? Honestly, like I'm looking in the chat right now. What the hell is this about? Because I have absolutely no idea. Like, why can't I create content using my own name? Honestly, they haven't banned me. Someone said Facebook banned you. They haven't banned me. My personal profile is still active. My page is still active. My business page is still active. Even I literally don't use my business page at all. That's still active. Why can't I create content under my own name? I want an explanation for all of this. What the hell is going on? They also were. I don't know if they're still doing this, guys. If you haven't liked my Facebook page yet, please do me a favor. Go to facebook.com/Dr. Karlin B and try to like my Facebook page and tell me if they are still putting a little warning error on my Facebook page, because what was happening for a while was Facebook, anytime anyone tried to like my page on Facebook, they would get a little warning saying, are you sure you want to like this person? Are you sure? Don't you want to review their content first? Are you sure you want to like them? I don't know if that little warning is still there, but if you haven't liked my Facebook page yet, go try to like it. See if you get a little warning sign. I'm confused about whether or not that's still there. So these are not big things, guys. By themselves, these are not big earth-shattering things. But like, taken as a collective, I mean, these are little actions that big tech is doing stupid crap like this every single day. They're doing it because they can. Because they can. That is the only reason they're doing stuff like this. Now, someone asked, am I on Gab? Of course I'm on Gab, man. I'm on Gab at Karlin. And I'll bring it up just so you guys can see. I am on Gab, and I would love for you guys to follow me on Gab. Gab is now actually starting to get really fast, and it's much better. And so definitely follow me on Gab if you're on Gab. Oh, Crystal says she got the warning for my Facebook page. So Facebook is still warning people that I'm a dangerous individual. You don't want to follow me on Facebook. Facebook doesn't want you to follow me. Why doesn't Facebook want you to follow me? I can't imagine why. Yep, Miles says he got the warning. Coaster Trek says can't find you in my Facebook search. Mandy says she got the warning. Yeah, I mean, Thinking Libertarian says reforming 230 won't fix the problem. I mean, I tend to agree with you. I think that I'm not in favor of like repealing 230 necessarily. I mean, if it was the only thing that we could do, I wouldn't mind it so much. But I'm really in favor of more so treating social media like public utilities, like that they can't ban people or censor people that aren't breaking the law. So that would be what I would be in favor of. Yep. My name is Leftist Hate Speech. Literally, my name is leftist hate speech. I'm not allowed to create content under my own name on Facebook. Yeah, Maria says she's got the warning there. You may want to review Dr. Karlin Borisenko to see the types of content it normally shares. Let's just make a note too that Facebook has now misgendered me, calling me an it, which I also appreciate. Yeah, Don says I tried to sign them, none available. That's because change.org has banned my account. They have banned it entirely. So mission accomplished there, but change.org, don't worry. I have like 87 email addresses. So I can you'll hear from me again, darling. Jeff Horton, thank you for becoming a member on my YouTube channel. I do appreciate it. The members on YouTube, you help support my work, help keep me let me know for consistent income. That's really, really helpful, and I do appreciate it. All right. You also get some perks. You get exclusive videos, just like I do exclusive videos for my locals community. So I post them for my YouTube members as well. All right, guys, but I'm just going to catch up here. Those are some of the things that have happened this week, but that's not all I want to talk about. One of the things I want to talk about right here, and actually I need to stop this share. I want to actually get the audio on this tab because I want to share audio. Okay. So now you guys should be able to hear the audio on this tab. I just want to play a quick clip. I saw this right before I came on live. This is one of these things that is just flabbergasting to me. What you're going to hear in this is George Stephanopoulos, who I understand is not a real journalist, but he plays one on TV. What you're going to hear in this clip is George Stephanopoulos literally saying there are not two sides to a story. Let's listen to this little brief clip.
Media today, as they say, all Republicans are liars and everything we say is a lie. There are two sides to every story. Interview somebody on the other side, but don't insert yourself into the story to say we're all liars because we some fraud in the election.
There are not two sides to the story.
I don't know. Could you guys hear the audio for that? I hope the audio came through. Dragonwater says, yes, I got the warning before liking the Facebook page. If you guys couldn't hear the audio, Rand Paul is basically giving George Stephanopoulos the business in this clip, and George Stephanopoulos replies, there are not two sides to the election fraud story. He's literally saying there are not two sides to the story. Guys, there's always more than one side to the story. And Rand Paul, if you haven't seen this clip, Rand Paul gave him the business. So I definitely recommend you guys, if you haven't heard this clip, go back and watch this clip. I'm sorry if the audio didn't come through. Sometimes the technology doesn't work the way I exactly want it to, but I definitely recommend you go and watch it because this type of stuff is it's crazy town to me. Rename your channel Bad Dude Named Corn Pop. Should we try that live? What do I have next? Okay. Next up, I'm going to talk about some lefties getting censored, but I'm going to go back into my Facebook. We're going to do this. We're going to do it live. No, I'm not. No, I'm rethinking that. No, this is a bad idea because then I'm going to have to go in and change it again. And there's going to be some requests. No, I'm changing my mind because what's going to happen if I change it and it's something that is not my name. I'm going to have to go through another process of changing it. I'm going to have a crazy name on my Facebook page for like 3 months or something. So I'm sorry, guys. We're not doing that one live. I'm not screwing my Facebook page for you guys' entertainment. Dylan Mobile says, warning for your page, but not for Antifa's page. Exactly. I apparently, in the eyes of Facebook, am more dangerous than Antifa. Apparently so. Christian is here. Christian, guys, our favorite young libertarian. Christian actually just did interviews with both Marianne Williamson and Scott Baio. So Christian's getting some big names on his channel. Make sure you subscribe to his podcast. See what he has to say. All right. But listen, I'm not the only one who's being censored. And I think that this is actually really important for people to understand. People on the right, and I'm not even on the right, I'm more of a centrist than anything, but people on the right sometimes think that they are the poor put upon people, that they're the only ones ever getting censored. Well, it's just not true, guys. The left is starting to get censored as well. I actually just did a video this week about Black Lives Matter screaming, and Antifa screaming about some of their Telegram accounts getting deleted for like 2 hours, and they issued a whole damn press release for it. So we have that. But then we also have this example right here. Check this out. Hang on. The Socialist Workers' Party in Britain retweeted Nigel Farage. This is an example from just like a couple days ago. Retweeted Nigel Farage Nigel was saying, maybe this will teach the radical left a lesson about censorship. And then they retweeted him and said, jog on, you racist bigot. Free speech is not about your right to push Islamic racist propaganda. We've always stood against real censorship by state and corporations. How's your mate Trump doing? Well. Not too long after that, breaking! Facebook has shut down a major left-wing group in Britain. Why is Facebook silencing political activists who speak out for Palestine and Black Lives Matter? Read the press release here! And I know that we shouldn't laugh at them because all censorship is bad and we are free speech absolutists on this site. But listen, man, a little comeuppance, never a bad thing so far as I'm concerned. Just a little comeuppance, just a little bit, just a little. But that's not the only one. Check out this story. Katie Couric, Jeopardy gig in peril. Producers fear she's too polarizing after anti-GOP comments. Oh. If only people like Katie Couric had advocated for not canceling people based on their political beliefs. Oh my God, isn't it ironic that these people who for years were canceling people based on their political beliefs, and now all of a sudden, oh my God, it's happening to me. No. Let's read this from Fox News. This was published a day ago. Jeopardy producers are reportedly concerned about Katie Couric's controversial comments bashing the Republican Party ahead of her planned guest hosting duties on the long-running game show. Last week, Couric appeared on Real Time with Bill Maher, where she spent much of the show trashing President Trump in his final days in office. But what made headlines were her comments about Trump's backers on Capitol Hill, who fueled the former president's election challenge. It is so shocking. Not only are they conceding, Bill, but their thoughts that there might have been some collusion among members of Congress. Some are refusing to go through the magnetometers to check for weapons. They're not wearing masks during the siege, Couric began. I find it really bizarre, isn't it? When you think about how AWOL so many of these members of Congress have gotten. But I also think some of them are believing the garbage that they're being fed 24/7 on the internet by their constituents, and they bought into this big lie. And the question is how we are going to really almost deprogram these people who have signed up for the cult of Trump. Now, the New York Post page 6 is reporting that folks behind the scene at Jeopardy were immediately worried about her comments. Oh, Katie. Oh, poor Katie Couric. Oh my God. Mr. Paul R. says censorship of speech is equal in the tech world. That is absolutely correct. Page 6 reports that according to the source, the Jeopardy audience is very conservative, and the game show has always steered clear of politics. Katie's comments so soon after she was announced as the host are very concerning to the producers. They're worried there will be backlash against her. There has already been some complaints. Jeopardy viewers are quite a traditional bunch, and there's fears she might be too polarizing after this. At the very least, she already appears to have ruled herself out of becoming the permanent host of the show. Sony Pictures and representatives for Couric did not immediately respond to Fox News' request for comments. Couric has been facing intense backlash for suggesting the GOP needs to be deprogrammed for its support of Trump. This sort of rhetoric from Couric, which comes across as so condescending and elitist, underscores the divide between our media, which primarily resides in New York and Washington, and the rest of the country, which is moderate to center-right per multiple polls. And it's why the industry is so mistrusted and frowned upon. The Hill columnist and Fox News contributor told Fox News Couric was tapped as one of several celebrity guest hosts to fill in on Jeopardy following the November 8th death of longtime host Alex Trebek. Poor Katie Couric. Poor Katie. If only Katie Couric had spent just as much time advocating for free speech as she did trying to get Trump supporters deprogrammed. Oh my gosh, maybe she'd still have her hosting gig, and maybe she even would have become the permanent host of Jeopardy. But let's do a cheers, guys. Let's do a cheers for a little comeuppance. Cheers. I don't support censorship in any way, shape, or form, but you reap what you sow, my friends. You reap what you sow. Wouldn't it be funny? Wouldn't it be funny if a lot of people came out in support of Katie Couric to say, I don't agree with the thing she had to say, but I'll defend to her death the right to say it. Give her her guest hosting spot on Jeopardy. Wouldn't it be funny if a lot of Republicans actually did that? Like, we think Katie Couric is full of shit. We think Katie Couric does not understand what she's talking about when she says Trump supporters need to be deprogrammed. We think Katie Couric's opinions are garbage. But she has the right to say them. And we may not agree with her thoughts, but we will defend to the death her right to say them. I think that would be really funny. Multi-Drider says, one on Styx Hexenhammer exclusive video, agreed that the next 10 to 20 years, this will be remembered as a dark age of identitarianism, not enlightenment. I tend to agree with that. We'll see how long this actually goes on for. But, there's something interesting happening. There's something interesting, and I've been actually talking about it quite a bit this week, and people haven't really been, appreciating it as much as I hope. Some people have. It's been an interesting experience to advocate for this, because what I've essentially been talking about is the idea that I really think that this is a time for populist left and populist right to unite. I do. I think this is a time for it, and I've actually specifically been focused on, can MAGA and BLM find alignment? Can MAGA and Black Lives Matter find alignment? And I'm not talking about Black Lives Matter leadership. And before any of you in the chat go, oh my God, Carlin, their leaders are Marxist. Don't you know their leaders are Marxist? Their leaders are Marxist. We can't deal with Marxist leaders, Carlin. We can't deal with Marxist leaders. I don't want to hear about it. I've literally done videos on this channel about their leadership being Marxist. Okay, I don't want to hear that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the average Black Lives Matter supporter. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about their leadership, okay? I'm talking about average, everyday people. And see, here we go. It's already starting. No, Carlin. No. We can't get along with these people. We are the poor put upon people in the world, folks. I'm going to tell you this. Clearly. It's either you get along with people that you disagree with on some way, shape, or form, or you hand all the power to and control over to the establishment who doesn't give a fig about you. And that's on the right and that's on the left. Okay? We have two choices in this. Do you want the establishment, or do you want to try to find a way to play nicely with people that you might disagree with on some issues, but can also find alignment on? And actually, I'm gonna get out of this. I'm gonna get back into this screen because I'm gonna try again to see if I can get the sound to work. Hang on. Share audio. This is something that Jimmy Dore talked about the other day. I wasn't aware that Jimmy Dore was talking about this when I started talking about it, but I think that this is not an original idea. I've been seeing quite a few folks, even on the left, talk about this, how populist right and populist left have more in common than they think, and that this could be a time to team up. So IT asks, where's the mimosa? There's the mimosa, my friend. I've got the big mimosa, the big guns. Because here's the thing. I did a 3-hour live stream the other day with a Black Lives Matter activist, and I strongly encourage all of you to go and watch it. And what I learned in that live stream is that, and here we go, guys, if you want to keep paying me money to talk nonsense, if these two groups came together, then their leadership will be forced to oh no, this isn't nonsense. I prejudged. I'm sorry, Snafu. I misjudged you. I thought you were saying something else. I had my guard up. I thought you were saying something else. He's really saying if these two groups come together, then their leadership will be forced to rethink their ideological beliefs or get the boot. Yes. I'm sorry I misjudged you. I am. Anthony says, BLM and MAGA unite. Philosophically, it's possible. So here's what I learned about... I'm not drunk, Charlie, okay? I've had like 3 sips of a mimosa. Relax. So here's what I learned in my chat with the BLM activists the other day. 1, they don't like Antifa. They don't like Antifa. He compared Antifa to Q. He said there are Q, okay? He doesn't like Antifa. He doesn't like the violence. And I think that on our side, if we can acknowledge that, you know what? We don't want the police killing innocent people. That is actually a goal. Listen, I don't care if you believe there's a problem or not. I don't care. That is actually immaterial. Do you agree on the goal? Do you agree that we don't want the police killing innocent people and police reform is not necessarily a bad thing and maybe some more money could get actually invested in social services? If we believe that those goals are good, then whether or not there is a problem becomes immaterial because the goal is what's important. That's the goal. So I want to play you this clip from Jimmy Dore, and this is not actually even Jimmy Dore talking. The reason I want to play you this clip is because he's showing a speech from this Boogaloo boy who is saying the same thing, and this threw them for a loop. They were like, he's not really right-wing militia, is he? He can't be right-wing militia. How is he talking about these things? Let's listen to what this guy had to say. And hopefully the audio works. If you guys aren't hearing the audio, you let me know, but it should, in theory, work.
Antifa, Boogaloo, and right-wing militias, they are the antibodies, not the disease that is destroying our country.
Did he included Antifa in that?
Yeah, I think he said BLM, Antifa, and then he also said
Boogaloo,
and
yeah.
Proud Boys.
Yeah, so let me listen to it again.
BLM, Antifa, Boogaloo, and right-wing militias.
Yes, he says BLM, Antifa, Boogaloo, and right-wing militias are not the problem. That's what he's saying. Let's listen to it again.
BLM, Antifa, Boogaloo, and right-wing militias, they are the antibodies, not the disease that is destroying our country.
They are the antibodies, he says, not the disease destroying our country.
The disease is a country run by 2 corrupt political parties that do not care about you. So deeply incestuous with corporations that they are indistinguishable from each other. A government that spent 6 months debating whether to give their own people $600, but only 24 hours to unanimously agree to give billions of dollars to foreign tyrannical governments and corporations. A government that has bombed villages overseas my entire life for my supposed safety here. This is a call for unity. For all of American people that realize the true threat against us to come together. For every mother mourning her children that was killed by police, for every business crushed down by state lockdowns, for every broken soldier sent to fight wars that have no point. This is our last chance to avoid either a tyrannical government or a bloody and pointless civil war among American people who do not have that much against each other and have more in common than they realize.
All right. So if this right-wing militia guy can say they're not the enemy, then what is stopping any of you? Honestly, and we're going to get into this again. Seriously, Carlin, how do we make friends with people that believe we are oppressing them because we are a different color? How? They jump to racism before you can talk. I had a 3-hour conversation with one of those people the other day. Go watch it. And then you can come back now and talk to me. Before you watch it, I'm not engaging in this conversation. Saying it is impossible to talk to these people is simply wrong. And I'm tired of hearing people complain about this. I'm tired of it, guys. We need to move on this. I suffered these complaints before the election because we all had a common goal to try to get Trump reelected to another term. I'm not doing it anymore. We are now beyond this. We need to find a way to actually come together to solve the larger problem. The difference of opinion between BLM and MAGA is more aesthetic, semantic than people care to admit. The language barrier is used to divide us. That is exactly correct. We all have a common goal in that the people in power don't give a crap about any of us. So we need to come together around that. We can argue other things later. Why I wanted to show you this clip is that Jimmy Dore is a progressive dude. Jimmy Dore is banging down the door of trying to force a vote for Medicare for all right now, which I actually think is really interesting. I actually want to see them vote on Medicare for all because, that's why they were elected. They should be elected to do the thing their constituents want them to do. It's very popular in the Democratic Party, and I know a lot of you guys don't support it, but why aren't they having a vote on it? They control everything. Why aren't they having a vote? I completely agree with Jimmy Dore on this. I'm ambivalent on the whole healthcare thing, to be honest. I'm not left or right. It's just not something I spend a lot of time thinking about. I mean, there are much smarter people on healthcare than me, to be honest. So I'm rather ambivalent about it, but I absolutely understand Jimmy Dore's point. And I think what would happen if they did force the vote on that is that it would show that the Democrats are corporate shills. I think that's exactly what it would show. It wouldn't pass, right? And so I think that this is a time for populist left and populist right to stop being divided by the media and the people in power and to start to find ways to work together. I do. Tracy Hayes says Telegram is a good place to organize. Many conservatives have channels on Telegram that anyone can follow. Lynn Wood is also on Telegram. And Lynn Wood the other day on Telegram posted an audio clip of him calling into a hearing about himself at his alma mater. It was fantastic. But yeah. Salty Scotch says, I enjoyed your conversation with Jeff. Thank you very much for that. Godard Bazaar says, my progressive feminist boss told me we have more in common, just different solutions. And it's our leaders, it's our leaders that are the issue. I agree with that sentiment. I really think that there's something to this. I really, really do. All right, let me just get off that because I want to get into another clip here. I don't need the audio up anymore. Next article I want to talk about. So last week on Censorship Sunday, I shared an article from Newsweek about how Newsweek, in all of their wisdom, had determined that the use of the term Orwellian was being misused. People on the right, they didn't understand the term Orwellian. Why were we even using this term? People on the right obviously don't know how to use it. And then this one came from Vox just this morning. The word Orwellian has lost all meaning. Now, Vox is always good for a good reaction video, so I thought what I would do is read this article and react to it live on air, a little live reaction video, if you will. If you guys want me to do that, please hit that like button, because I only have a couple hundred likes. I have over 600 of you watching right now. Come on, guys, hit that like button. Do me a solid. If you're enjoying this stream so far, please make sure you let the evil overlords at YouTube, who have deleted hundreds of subscribers from my channel over the last couple of days, know. Cheers. Charlie Porter asked, would I consider running for president? F no. No. I will not be running for president anytime soon. I'm sorry to disappoint. That is not going to happen. All right, guys, let me just see. All right. The word Orwellian has lost all meaning. How the right made the word Orwellian an empty cliche. Let's get this party started, guys. It's possible Donald Trump's greatest talent is driving people to buy copies of 1984. Well, perhaps it would have benefited the staff at Vox to actually read 1984 before they write whole articles about it. I'm just saying. When Trump took office in 2017, sales of George Orwell's dystopian classic went up by 9,500%. And in the wake of the Capitol riots, as Senator Josh Hawley decried his book's cancellation as Orwellian, and Donald Trump Jr. responded to his father's ban from Twitter with the lament, "We are living in Orwell's 1984." 1984, once again, flew up Amazon's bestseller list, briefly sitting at number 1. I would bet you that The Hunger Games is also getting a lot of sales right now. I literally just had a Hunger Games movie marathon over the past 2 days. I watched all 4 Hunger Games movies. I highly recommend it. If you haven't seen those movies recently, first off, those movies are good. I'm sorry. I don't care what anyone says. Those are quality movies, man. But given where we are, it's an even better time to have your Hunger Games movie marathon. Last time 1984 returned to the bestseller list, it was because terrified liberals feared the Trump administration would drive us straight into the dystopian horrors of 1984, in which Big Brother is always watching, forcing his subjects to believe that 2 + 2 = 5 if he says it does. Well, didn't we have a little thing a couple months back where the left was trying, or academics in colleges were trying to convince James Lindsay that 2 + 2 does in fact equal 5? That is actually something that happened. That literally happened. This time it appears to be outraged conservatives fear that private corporations have begun to censor public speech. But either way, it's Orwell's time to shine again. Well, again, Vox, the 2 + 2 = 5 thing literally happened, but it didn't happen directed at the left. It happened directed towards the right. And so Orwellian has become the word of the moment. In fact, it has become the kind of lazy, hackneyed cliche word of the moment that Orwell himself despised. Orwell despised a lot of words. He wrote a whole essay about them in 1946 titled Politics and the English Language. The essay takes aim at all of Orwell's pet hatreds: excess use of Latinate instead of Anglo-Saxon words, unwarranted use of passive voice, mixed metaphors, cliches, and the phrase non-un, as in it is not unlikely that Trump will seek office in 2024 if not barred from doing so. Redundant fumes, Orwell. Just say it's likely. None of those have anything to do with the definition of the term Orwellian. Literally. Nothing in this paragraph has to do with the definition of Orwellian. But what Orwell is particularly angry about is imprecise language, and language that conceals rather than clarifies, which for him includes most political language. Political language, he writes, is designed to make lies sound truthful and murder sound respectable, and to give an appearance of solidity to pure wind. And then they give an example of Trump Jr. We are living in Orwell's 1984. Free speech no longer exists in America. It died with big tech, and what's left is only there for a chosen few. This is absolute insanity. But again, Vox is basically putting together a supposition and then providing evidence that doesn't at all align with the supposition that it's arguing. For this reason, Orwell argues politicians are particularly given to lazy, sloppy rhetoric, filled with meaningless buzzwords and cliches. Well, duh, dude, that's politics. That's literal politics. Mandatory Carrie says, keep fighting. What's the rebuilding plan for WW? I don't know what that is. Political language, he says, muffles the sense of what is being communicated, which is so often indefensible with an overlay of righteous justification. And as a result, those who get caught up in the style of speech, both its speakers and its listeners, find the ability to think, caught, and shaped. Does this sentence even make sense? Hang on. And as a result, those who get caught up in this style of speech, both its speakers and its listeners, find their ability to think, find their ability to think caught and shaped by their impoverished language. They are no longer able to recognize a lie as a lie and a murder as a murder, which the language is in which they speak is so vague as it allows them to consider a lie an alternative fact and a murder a tragic yet avoidable. Dude. This is literally what Vox is doing. Oh, walk away. That's what they meant. So Mandatory Carrie says, what's up for Walkway? Gotta ask Brandon, man. Brandon makes the plans. I just go and speak at the rallies. I don't know. I wish I had more information for you. I did. I have no idea. But this is literally what Vox is doing. Vox literally is writing an article about how the word Orwellian has lost all its meaning, and it's basically trying to convince you that the word Orwellian means the opposite of what it means. This is literally what they're doing in this article. Am I missing this? Like, am I missing a greater point? Let's keep going. That's why in 1984, one of Big Brother's chief directives is to keep simplifying the English language into newspeak, in which anything really positive is double plus good and anything really bad is double plus ungood. All of the nuances and richness of English are stripped away. The barren skeletal language that remains renders complex thought impossible. And so the citizens of the dystopian society of Oceania are left blankly following after Big Brother, believing in the lies that he tells them because they no longer have the language to recognize the truth. It's the argument of politics and the English language taken to its full conclusion. Oh, here we go. We might actually be getting to an argument now. When Josh Hawley and Trump Jr. use the term Orwellian, they are indulging in precisely that kind of lazy and dishonest obfuscation Orwell railed against. They are taking the haze of imprecise associations that have accumulated around the word bad, dystopian, someone, somewhere, overreaching probably, and trying to attach them to such urgent issues for human rights as a politician losing his book contract after a scandal and the most powerful man in the world getting kicked off a social media platform. Wow. Vox is literally trying to convince you that you don't see the censorship happening right in front of you. That's what they're saying. They're literally trying to convince you. No. You're not seeing censorship. You're seeing accountability. That is literally what they're doing, folks. Payne Cabal says, how could Vox be aware of censorship? Have you told them the double standard of your AOC resignation petition? They would surely be outraged. Yes, I am sure that Vox would be outraged that my petition demanding AOC resign got canceled and my account got barred from change.org. I am sure they would be floored at this revelation. They would probably tell me, Carlin, you weren't really canceled. You were just held accountable for your petition. You were just held accountable for making change.org look stupid. That's all it really was. It was just accountability. It wasn't censorship. It was just accountability. They are, to put it in terms in which Orwell would approve, lying. They are pretending that very reasonable actions from private corporations are the same as the government kidnapping citizens and shoving their faces into cages full of rats to brainwash them. And they are trying to convince their followers to pretend the same thing until the pretense becomes real and everyone agrees to believe the lie. Guys, what I've said this before, so I'm sorry if you guys have already heard this from me, but I think it bears repeating for the people who haven't heard this before. What Twitter did and Facebook and all of the other platforms that banned Donald Trump while he was still president, what they did was literally prove that they are more powerful than the government. They did. What they did is they proved they were more powerful than the government. If they could ban a world leader, the most powerful man in the world, quote unquote, they can ban any of us. And there is no recourse. This is the public square. These tech companies need to be regulated like a public utility. Phone companies are private companies. Phone companies are private, but they cannot ban someone from using their service because they don't like what they're saying on the phone. They can't do that. That's how big tech needs to be regulated. I'm sorry. Like, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Drink to that. Drink. Then they have Josh Hawley's statement about his book contract getting canceled. Luckily, a publisher that likes to make money did pick up Josh Hawley's book, and so his book will be getting published. The great enemy of clear language is insincerity, Orwell writes, in politics and the English language. So apparently this entire article from Vox is just quoting this article or this thing that Orwell wrote and then pretending that it means something that it doesn't. That's what we're seeing here. When there is a gap between one's real and one's declared aims, it turns as, hang on, When there is a gap between one's real and one's declared aims, one turn, as it were, instinctively to long words and exhausted idioms like a cuttlefish spurting out ink. Jeff Horton, thank you again for becoming a member. The real aims of Hawley and Trump Jr. and any number of other conservative figures flinging around the Orwellian label in the wake of the storming of the Capitol. I mean, to be fair, a lot of us have been talking about Orwell for years now. This is not just like, it wasn't suddenly there was the Capitol and Josh Hawley's book contract got canceled and then we're all like, Orwell! That didn't happen, Vox. We've been talking about it for years. In the wake of the storming of the Capitol are to salvage their reputations after abetting an assault on democratic institutions. Yeah, that's why. That's why people are talking about Orwell. It's just to salvage Josh Hawley's reputation. Their declared aims are to save democracy, to hide the size of the gap between the two. They have turned instinctively to an idiom that is now exhausted. And then they've got Megyn Kelly offering some thoughts. My thoughts at the top are on how to fight back against big tech's Orwellian overreach. Also, the Parler CEO on how Parler got a lifeline late Friday night after Amazon's second night in Parler, only to have it too shamed into shunning them. Scary stuff, so damn wrong. The word Orwellian doesn't mean anything anymore. Orwell himself told us what to... This whole article is so Orwellian. Oh my God, guys. Okay, so here's how the article ends, right? The word Orwellian doesn't mean anything anymore. Orwell himself told us what to do with it. In that case, stop using it. The literal purpose of this article from Vox is to convince its readers that the term Orwellian doesn't mean what it means, and they should stop calling things that are actually Orwellian. The meta of this article is mind-boggling. Like, let's just think about that for a minute. We all know, or most people here knows what the term Orwellian means, okay? I have read the book 1984 like 15 times. I watched the movie like a week ago. We all know what the term Orwellian means. This article is literally trying to convince you, no, that term Orwellian that you know so well, it doesn't really mean what you think it means. I don't know what it doesn't really mean what you think it means. In fact, not only does the term Orwellian not mean what you think it means, but you should just stop using it because it just has no meaning anymore. We're not living in 1984. The term has no meaning. Just stop using the term Orwellian. This is meta as hell, guys. Wow. Right as Rain, thank you for becoming a member on my channel. I do appreciate it. Wild Rose says, stop using the term Orwellian. No. F you, Vox. Vox is going to go under so quickly. You know that's true. But listen, the other thing that's happening, we got a couple more articles. Jonathan Turley tweeted out, the reckless rhetoric and actions taken this week show that leaders in Congress are seeking to capitalize on our divisions, not to heal them. The greater concern is the total silence of Biden, who has spoken of healing the nation, but has done little to seek unity. And the reason I brought this article up is, Biden and his crew of merry men, or women, have been talking a lot about unity this week. And they're doing it in a way where unity does not mean what they are actually saying. They're literally changing the definition of unity, right? They're changing the definition of unity to be something that it does not mean. How they mean unity is, you're going to bend the knee to what we want. You're going to unify with us. Unity means agreeing with us. That's how they're using the term unity. Let's read what Jonathan Turley has to say about this. Oh, God, Hill. Why are you giving me a big ad about jewelry? I don't even really wear jewelry. The Hill's ad mechanism is screwing up there. Do Democrats really want unity? Let's see. There are times when being a law professor ruins everything. You go to a great movie with your wife and get a sharp elbow after whispering in the theater that the character really cannot question a witness like that. Or you watch a football game with friends and try to explain that the cameraman wiped out by the running back would have had a great torts case. Dude, my husband does this to me all the time. My husband, anytime we are watching a movie about science, he explains, Carlin, that's not really the way the science works. I'm like, Victor, you need to suspend disbelief for the purpose of this movie. I can't take it. I can't take a science lesson in the middle of a movie. I can't. I just want to watch the movie and enjoy the movie. Why are you giving me a science lesson? I totally understand this. Yeah, Nate's like, low, when you're absolutely shocked to see an online ad that isn't tailored to your specific taste. I guess, I mean, it might not be a bad thing that it wasn't tailored to my taste. All right. In the middle of one of the more beautiful inaugurations in history. I don't know about that, Jonathan Turley. Let's not go that far. I fixated on Senator Amy Klobuchar announcing that she would be the first person to call Joe Biden Mr. President. She was wrong, factually and constitutionally. Biden had been sworn into the office early by about 10 minutes to noon, and Chief Justice John Roberts had just called him Mr. President. Yet the true president at that moment was in Florida. Donald Trump legally would remain in office for 10 more minutes under the 20th Amendment. Isn't that funny? Martin says unity equals submission. It is similar to Islam. I'm not getting into the Islam conversation, I'll tell you that. It would be a bit of trivia for constitutional law geeks, but it's also telling. Everyone in Washington, including many in the Republican leadership, were a bit too eager to begin Biden's administration and to end Trump's. However, it should be a cautionary tale. Democrats are moving aggressively to muscle through an ambitious agenda in Congress that may raise serious constitutional questions and cause even greater political divisions. Yes, they are. Afternoon, the real President Biden set to work on a host of executive orders. In the first 2 days, Biden signed almost 36 new executive orders, ranging from stopping deportations of undocumented persons to extending a freeze on student loan payments, from mandating mask wearing to guaranteeing access by transgender children to bathrooms and sports. Some of the executive orders, if implemented directly, could be challenged in court. However, Trump and other modern presidents have increasingly used such orders to set new priorities and policies. What is happening on Capitol Hill is far more concerning. Democratic leaders are pushing Biden to act unilaterally, as did President Obama when faced with a divided Congress. Obama actually used his State of the Union address to declare his intent to circumvent the legislative branch after it refused to pass his legislation in areas such as the environment and immigration. Mandatory carry says, vault dwellers, remember what unity means. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and other Democrats have called on Biden to simply cancel up to $50,000 per student of student loan debt, wiping out billions of debt and potential federal revenue. That is a major unilateral decision when the national debt is approaching $28 trillion, one done without debate or deliberation. In fairness, students are being crushed by student loan debt, blah, 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 blah. Other calls for sweeping decisions, from immigration to wealth distribution, are more concerning. Democrats insist they want both houses and the White House. And as President Obama once said, elections have consequences. Well, did you guys know there is a whole Twitter account now dedicated to people having Biden regret? Check this out. Check this out. Where is it? There is a Twitter account. It's called Biden L's. Bidenls, that is specifically dedicated to Biden regret. I thought this was going to take months. It took days. It literally took days. Look at this. Joe Biden's inauguration video is now so unpopular that it is now unlisted on the White House YouTube account. Also, YouTube was scrubbing dislikes from Biden's Twitter. I wonder if they have that on here. I know we're distracted from the article for a second, but Anyway, go follow this account. It already has 30,000 followers. It only has like not like 5 tweets or something. But that account I think is going to be helpful to us. Anyway. However, this election was not an overwhelming victory or endorsement. Rather, it shows a country divided virtually down the middle. While voters clearly rejected Trump and his controversial leadership, they voted widely for Republicans down the ticket. The House saw a significant loss of Democratic seats and has one of the slimmest majorities in modern history. The Senate is divided literally in half, and a majority is only possible with Vice President Harris voting to break ties on the floor. However, voters did not support the agenda of the, clearly, woo. The mimosa's getting to me, so I must drink more. Oh, dude, don't, Voga, don't use that word in my chat, please, honestly. We do not use the word see you next Tuesday in the chat unless we're describing what I'm being called by someone on the internet. Cheers. Clearly, voters did not support the agenda of the far left, and many seem to have preferred divided government. Yet many of the left do not want to wait for a broader mandate to implement sweeping changes. They are pushing for the District of Columbia to be made a state, likely adding a 2-vote majority for Democrats in the Senate. Even more worrisome is a push to end the filibuster. Many Democrats are calling for Schumer to end the long-standing protection of minority rights in the Senate. Schumer has refused to guarantee that he will protect the filibuster tradition, even though he demanded that it be preserved during the Republican Senate control. In both chambers, Democrats are calling for the possible expulsion of fellow members who voted to challenge electoral votes before the January 6th riot in the Capitol. I opposed that electoral vote challenge, but it was not sedition or insurrection to vote for it. Federal law expressly allows for such challenges, and Democrats have mounted challenges in past elections. These calls demonstrate a crisis of leadership, which remains a political power keg. They are seen as extreme violence on both left and right for 4 years. Excuse me. We have seen extreme violence on both left and right for 4 years. Well, we have not extreme. Jonathan Turley is lying. We have not seen extreme violence from the right, apart from a few crazy people at the Capitol. So he's lying on that one. We have seen significantly more extreme violence from the left than the right. Please. Well, I guess you could say the Charlottesville thing too. I was not in favor of the Charlottesville thing, guys. So hang on. Okay. The inauguration occurred surrounded by 25,000 National Guard troops due to the January 6th rise, blah, 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 blah. And of course, nothing happened because the right is usually 100% peaceful. Yet despite an election that clearly favored compromise and divided power, leaders like House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and others are fueling divisions. Representative Steve Cohen and Mickey Sherrill, I don't know how to pronounce that, and others have accused colleagues of giving tours to insurrectionists before the riot to provide reconnaissance for the next day. The group they saw was the representative's own family. When confronted with such scurrilous accusations, Pelosi insisted that Republicans were known to give aid and comfort to those seeking to destroy the country. Such reckless rhetoric and actions show the leaders in Congress are seeking to capitalize on our divisions, not to heal them. Guys, I keep telling you this. It's in their best interest to keep things divided. Every time you say that we cannot align with BLM supporters on the areas that we agree with, you are very, 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 very literally doing what the Democrats want you to do. I'm going to say this again. Every time you're like, no, Carlin, BLM is Marxist. We can't do it. Carlin, we can't do it. You are doing what the Democrats want you to do. You are letting them win. Every single time. There's a lot that we agree on with the populist voices on the left. There are some things we don't agree on, but there is a lot that we do agree on. And we have a bigger enemy. And if you want to continue to let the establishment Democrats and the establishment Republicans, who, let's be honest, are the same damn party, they're exactly the same thing. If you want to let them continue to divide us by making us think that we hate each other when we don't, you are allowing them to win. You are doing what they want you to do. I don't know that I'm on board with Medicare for all. I don't know. I'm not completely opposed to it. I'm not completely informed. I'm really ambivalent about it. But I'll take Jimmy Dore's side every freaking day of the week. Because at least he's forcing them to account. And it's better for those of us who have vested interest in getting these rat bastards out of power to team up and to try to work together to do that. That should be the type of unity that we're going for. The type of unity the Democratic Party wants is bend the knee to what we want. And they mean that not only for people like me and people like you, they mean that for people like Jimmy Dore. That's what it's about. And Mitch McConnell's going to be like, yes, yes. He's cheering that shit on. Mitch McConnell is lobbying for Donald Trump to be convicted in this stupid sham impeachment trial. This is ridiculous, guys. It's ridiculous. All right, let's keep going. The greater concern, though, is the total silence of Biden, who has spoken of healing the nation but has done little to seek unity. He could, for instance, declare support for the filibuster, which he staunchly defended as a senator, but he hasn't. That would take real leadership to support a rule that makes things more difficult for you, but could force real compromise and national healing. Many were eager, a tad too eager, to declare Biden president on Inauguration Day. Now he needs to show there is good reason for hope, to show he is not just another politician, but a president who sees our divisions as a threat to our entire nation. He needs to lead. Biden doesn't want us to be united. Biden wants Trump to be impeached after he leaves office. That is going to piss off 74 million people for no good reason. For no good reason. The only thing they gain is that Trump can't run for office again. Whoop-de-doo. Makes no sense. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Are you willing to swallow reparations and extra payments for people of color and LGBT? I'm going to complain because I don't want to make friends with my enemies. I'm going to complain about it. I don't care. I don't care. People like this guy, all they want is to fight. All they want is to fight. Listen. You have a choice every moment of every day. You have a choice. You have a choice to focus on the things that divide us, focus on the things that you disagree on. And if you choose to do that, what you're going to do is to make it seem like we disagree on everything. If all of your focus constantly is just on the things that we disagree on, every conversation is going to be about where we disagree. What if instead you move the needle and you focus on where we agree? If you focus on where we agree rather than where we disagree, then we can start to have a conversation about what we can do together. Every single time I see these complaints, well, they're Marxists. They just want reparations. Blah, 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 blah. I can't work with people who want Marxist reparations. Every single time I see these complaints, all that's happening is you're spending all your time focusing on where we disagree. You are spending zero time focusing on where we agree. And what that is going to do is make it seem like we disagree on everything when we don't. We don't. And when you do that, you allow the people in power, the Democrats and Republicans in Congress and Joe Biden in the White House, you allow them to win. And you are making that choice. You are making that choice. What you are saying is that it is more convenient for you to allow the Democrats and Republicans, the establishment, to maintain power than it is to try to build a bridge with people that you disagree with. What's more important, folks? What's more important? Do you want the establishment in power forever? Congratulations, because that's what you're going to do. That's exactly what you're going to do. When in fact, we could come together and say, you know what? All that they're doing is bullshit. They don't care about either of us. They don't care about the left. They don't care about the right. They don't care about any of us. They want to see us fighting. The media wants to see us fighting. And every time you play into it, because you've got a pet peeve of someone disagreeing with you, you are allowing them to win. You don't score points with me for allowing them to win. Julia says, absolutely, absolutely need to find things we agree on. That is where true discourse happens. And guys, I'm not... No. Wrong. This is exactly the wrong attitude. I'm so sick of this shit, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not pandering to this bullshit anymore. I'm not doing it. I will not do it. The enemy of my enemy is not necessarily my friend. You have to be cautious. Okay, congratulations. Nancy Pelosi is going to be in power forever along with Mitch McConnell. Happy now? Do you feel served now by your government? Because you couldn't step back and try to work with someone you disagree with? You're causing this to happen. You. Every single time you make excuses for why you can't have a conversation with someone you disagree with, every single time you make excuses about all of the differences, every single time you say, they're all Marxists, they're all socialists, you are letting them win. That's what you're doing. You're letting them win. You're letting the New York Times win. You're letting CNN win. You are doing that. That is the choice that you are literally making every single time you have these hissy fits. We are not enemies with each other. We're not. Stop acting like it. The real enemies are the people in power that are keeping us apart and not doing a damn thing to actually help the people in the country. And then Marxism, and they should win. Yeah, okay. That's a Charlie Porter is literally part of the problem. Congratulations, Charlie. You are part of the problem, my friend. You are part of the problem. Go out and prove it can happen, Carlin. All talk and no action. Set an example for us to follow. Okay, Amy Beth. How about Amy Beth, how about you watch the 3-hour conversation I had with a Black Lives Matter activist on this channel like 3 days ago? Oh, you didn't do that? Oh, because you'd rather complain? I am so sick of this shit. I really am. I'm so sick of this shit. You guys are, Carlin, you show us what to do, man. You win. Go watch the 3-hour conversation, Amy Beth. Shut the fuck up until you do that. I don't even care. I don't care how many subscribers I lose today. You guys want to come on my feed and complain? I'll tell you right where to go. Jeff Horton says, I'll support you. I'm no diplomat. I get too emotional. Keep up the good work. I'm obviously not diplomatic either. Mocking us is not uniting. And wow. Dude, you are useless to me in terms of actual unity if you're not willing to have a conversation with people who disagree with. So you are useless to me. Right now, Amy, you're useless. So why would I kiss your ass anymore? Why? What goal does that mean? Nope. Not doing it. Not doing it. Not doing it anymore. Keep bringing it on, guys. I'm looking in the chat right now. You don't even have to send in a super chat. I might not see it if you don't send in a super chat, but keep. Charlie Porter is part of the problem. Part of the problem. Part of the problem. In fact, since Charlie Porter is being part of the problem, Charlie Porter is getting put in a little timeout. You can go think about that, Charlie, while you're sitting your timeout, and I'm not going to let you troll my fucking channel. So, guys, if you have had enough of the bullshit, just like I've had enough of the bullshit, go ahead and smash that like button. Oh, now Amy Beth says, you've had way too much to drink. No, Amy, honey. My glass is almost still full, darling. I started it like here. I've had like not even a full glass of champagne in a normal glass. Not drunk. I just think that you're not a very smart person, to be really honest. I don't. Mockray says, newer sub here. Lefty here. You and Jimmy are right. Yes, we have a lefty. Yes, I love it. See, now I'm gonna get all these lefties on my site because I'm done suffering the bullshit on the right. I'm done. Guys, I hate both sides almost equally at this point. I hate the right a little tiny bit less because I agree with them on the free speech stuff. But I hate both sides equally. So ridiculous. Not drunk. The only reason Carlin disagrees with the right is that she's drunk. That's the only possible explanation for it. No. I just think you're stupid. Carlin, the last part of the conversation with the Bleep BLM guy was interesting. Wish I hadn't been at work for the start of it. Well, the good news, Dragon Water, is you can go watch the whole thing. It's live on the channel right now. Chris says, keep doing you, Carlin. Don't let yourself become a shill. Actual unity has to start somewhere. I'm not above trying to be the bigger person. Well, thank you. You sound so bitter. Watch this back later. See, this is what I always hear when people don't like what I'm saying. You're just bitter and angry. No. I'm just done with your bullshit. I'm literally done with your bullshit. You're just bitter. You're just drunk. No. No. Sorry, guys. I'm just looking in the chat. John says, same. I hate everyone. Exactly. I hate everyone equally. I hate the Democrats just a shade more than I hate the Republicans, but I hate everyone equally. I am done supporting someone telling me to support an anti-Semitic organization. Literally, no one told you that. Literally, no one told you to support an anti-Semitic organization. Because I never said support Black Lives Matter, the organization. I said to talk to Black Lives Matter activists. So there seems to be some confusion. There seems to be some confusion about the difference between the leadership of an organization and average, everyday people. I have not once said that you need to support the leadership of Black Lives Matter, the organization. Those words have never left my mouth. What I have said is that we have more in common. I'm going to speak slow because people don't seem to understand this. We have more in common with average, everyday Black Lives Matter activists than we don't. That's who we have stuff in common with, and that's who we need to be talking to. You are wrong about Jimmy Dore. Actions speak louder than words. In 2016, the DNC snuck around to the side and spit water on Alex Jones. Horrible. Did I somehow condone everything Jimmy Dore has ever said and done? Did I miss the goddamn memo where that happened? Okay. Ah, Jesus Christ. Sorry about that, guys. I get congested when I get uppity and yell at my chat for an hour. You could have been a Marine, so honorable, true to your country, and sarcastic. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. When did talking to people become supporting them? Exactly. Exactly, Dragon Water. When did talking to people become supporting them? Exactly. I'm going to be honest, guys. How I feel about things and how I've always thought about them, and I'm going to wrap this stream up in a second because I'm getting real congested and losing my voice. How I've always thought about things is either I want you to be a hell yes or a hell no. I do not want you to be ambivalent about me. And I kissed the ass of a lot of people on the right for the sake of keeping my life relatively simple for a while. And I wanted Trump to win, and I didn't think it was time to really, get in the face of people. I did it. I played your little game during the election. And now I don't have to play it anymore. If you don't want to subscribe because I said that it is possible to have a conversation with a BLM activist, then you are welcome to go. I don't really give a fuck. I do not care. If you want to stick around, you're welcome to do that too. The opinionated one says people don't like it when you tell them what they should hear as opposed to what they want to hear, especially with influencer culture. Stay principled. I will absolutely stay principled. Let's see. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to find super chats so I can show them on the screen. Muddy Funster says, but they have been saying agree or die. Silence is violence. I have no idea what that means. I think that's making an excuse not to talk to people that you disagree with, and I don't support that. Because you know what, guys? They can say exactly the same thing about you. Guess what? They can say the same thing about you. No one on the right is perfect. Lots of people on the right have said stupid shit. If the line that you are going to draw in the sand is you are never going to speak to people if they've ever said stupid shit in their life, guess what? You're not going to have anyone to talk to. Formerly Rodline says, are you saying finding those who are willing to talk and back off trying to sway those who won't? You're all good. Keep it up. I mean, essentially, yeah. Find those who are willing to talk. Find those who actually want progress. No progress is happening today. Peace out. Carlin, it's not worth arguing with trolls. No, I will argue with trolls because they present an opportunity to make a point. Oh, Charlie Porter is getting himself blocked. Congratulations, Charlie. You trolled my chat long enough. You're now gone. See, I'm not arguing with trolls anymore. I just blocked him. Godar Pizarro says, the right is becoming the monster that they fight. Dude, the right started becoming the monster they fought right after the election. They did. Let's see. Just making sure I got all the super chats, guys. I think I did. All right. We have pulled up on an hour and a half now. One last thing I want to show you. Bean Whisper says, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you like watching me tell off my chat, smash the like button. All right, guys, what we have to watch this week is Nancy is delivering the impeachment articles to the Senate on Monday. Will the shit show never end? And guys, the Republicans are playing into this. So if you want this nonsense to continue to happen in DC, where both the Republicans and the Democrats are more interested in impeaching someone who has already left office. If you want them focused on this, rather than real issues that really impact your life, then please continue to whine and complain about how BLM are Marxists. Every time you do that, all you're doing is letting them win. That's it. That's it. If you want to keep doing that, you be my guest. I don't think it's a good way to go. All right, I'm just taking a look at the chat one last time. If Carlin had to be drunk to agree with the right politically, that had to be some summer. If Carlin had to be drunk to agree with the right politically, that I have no idea what that fucking means. I'm also not actually drunk. Guys, my drink started at like here. I've had like 5 sips of it in an hour and a half. I'm not drunk. I'm just sick of your bullshit. I'm sick of the bullshit of big tech. I'm sick of the censorship. And I'm sick of people complaining how we can't try to find common ground with people that we disagree with. I am sick of all of it. I am sick of all of it equally. And so if that's not your jam, if you don't want to try to find that common ground, then I am not going to be the channel for you moving forward. I'll tell you what, I'll still rail on the woke shit. I'm going to be doing a lot of railing on the woke shit. You don't have to worry about that. But if you guys can't wrap your heads around the fact that you have more in common with the populist left than you might think, then I just don't know what to tell you. Don't know what to tell you. Don't know what to tell you. Tals Fox says, the way I think and feel is I don't always have to agree with everything you say. I am not going to cry and hissy fit and hide. Dude, then you are welcome to stay, man. It's the people who are always crying that I'm like, ugh. I just can't. The whining and complaining while at the same time doing nothing is just too much. It's too much. Can't do it. Not doing it anymore. All right, guys, that's all I've got for this one. I am quickly losing my voice, and I'm going to go chill and do some knitting. People have asked me how how Adam's poncho is going. It's going pretty well, actually. I'll have an update on that soon. Guys, I'm really not. I'm not even mildly tipsy. Just because I have a mimosa, I've taken like 3 sips. Jesus Christ. All right, I do need to jet though, guys. So I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. I will be back with some videos tomorrow. And yeah, go listen to Jimmy Dore because he's a good one on the left. Go listen to Jimmy Dore if you haven't been lately and start to at least open your mind that some of the populists on the left are really not that bad. They're not the enemy. Listen, when I first started down this path, my first step was listening to people who I thought I would disagree with. That's it. I listened to people who I thought I would disagree with. The challenge I have for all of you, go listen to some people on the left who you think you disagree with. Start with Jimmy Dore if you haven't listened to him lately. I don't disagree with a lot of what he says. I disagree with some of it. I don't disagree with a lot of it. You might be surprised. All right, guys, I'm signing off. I hope you have a good rest of your weekend. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.